Hey everybody, how's it going? So my name's Kevin. This is Pesnuts. If this is your first time here, I say welcome to the Requiem. If you're a reoccurring user, I say sorry for that. But either way, today we're going to go ahead and do a couple of little quick tutorials. This entire series that I'm putting together is based on Director. It is a software application that I have written, which is effectively a messaging platform that allows you to do deployments. So Director. Either way, in this quick tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to install Director from source. So here we go. The very first thing that we're going to do is actually SSH over into our Director server environment. We already have Git installed on this environment. So we're going to go ahead and git clone our repository and then install Director from source. Now, Director provides a whole bunch of different tools that we can use. We've covered a couple of them already, but again, we're going to go ahead and cd into the tools directory and we take a look at what's there. As you can see, there's this dev setup script. If we run the dev setup script, it will go ahead and try to do some stuff, but it can't because it needs super user privileges. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the dev setup script is actually doing. The very first thing it does is define the virtual environment path and then defines a Python bin. Now, if you wanted to use like a PyEnv or something else, or tell Director to use a different version of Python 3, you could. By default, it just takes the system recognizable Python 3, right? But if you wanted to get, again, if you wanted to set the full path to a Python executable somewhere else on the environment, the script will totally let you do that. Just set the path and run. It's the second argument. If none's defined, it becomes Python 3. Once it has set those couple of arguments, it does an operating system detection and then installs some packages that may need to be installed within your environment. In this case, links. If you're on an operating system that doesn't provide links, and links isn't installable out of the base repositories that are currently configured in your environment, it goes and grabs links from the mirs using the CentOS 8 mirs. Once links is installed, we go ahead and list out the OOO trunk current repository for the Python OOO repos. This is a command line tool which lets us easily configure more up-to-date repos using the RDO package repositories. So we have a bit of distro tomfoolery that we kind of jump through for configuring our OOO repos command, and then we configure them. This command will go ahead and lay down all the repositories we need to be successful from this from source installation. Once those things are installed, we then install 0MQ and libsodium. We create a virtual environment, update the virtual environment. We then read from our source repository, which is this repository that we're in currently, and install any development packages that we might also need. Once we have all of that done, we install Director using the UI and dev flags, which effectively just means that we'll have all of the different packages available to us at runtime. Then, once it's installed, we get a little bit of information about the installation, what was done, how it was done, and why. It's a lot. There's a lot going on here. But again, this is an installation from source, using the Python source and all of the core libraries that are required to run Director. In the previous video, we actually just ran a much simpler version of the script, which installs all of the different libraries that we need using the package manager. But this one is a little bit more in depth because this is more of what we would expect a developer to use to go ahead and develop against Director in an environment that may or may not have all of these things available to it. So we take care of everything that we need and build our stuff from source. So, okay. That's a lot. That was a mouthful. But let's go ahead and run our script and install everything that we need. Links isn't there. Let's go ahead and install it. It knows how to install it, and we move on. Now we get the OOO repos package, install that, and configure our repositories. This is where you see the DeLorean repos, right? And you see a bunch of OpenStack stuff in there. You don't have to be running OpenStack to want these repositories. It's just more up-to-date stuff that's available to you on, your operating system. And this is just assuming that you need it. You may not. Take your pick. But if you're running CentOS 8 Stream or CentOS 8 for that matter, this will take care of that for you. It's a lot of repositories, as you can see. A lot going on. All right, repositories are up. Now we're going to go ahead and create a virtual environment and update it. As you can see, it's updating pip from version 9. Now it's installing all of the development packages we need to build everything from source. Pretty exciting. It's like watching paint dry. Now we're actually installing director from the Python source in our virtual environment under opt. And just like that, director is installed, all from source. So let's go ahead and again, check that everything is working. Ta-da! We're not going to go ahead and dive into starting the service, starting the client, or running any commands, at least at this point in the tutorial. But we can see that director is installed, and it seems to be functional. So, stay tuned for the next one. Well, and that's that. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it was informative. This is the link. I'll also have links in the description below, which cover more about what we're doing, some links to the documentation, and to the code base, so you can check it out and do it yourself. If you found this interesting, please comment below. Hit me up on Twitter, various social media. Follow me over on my live streaming platform, which is twitch.tv/peznauts. And I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.